Hello YouTube and welcome to my first Blender game engine tutorial. Today I will be going over how to add Skydomes to your game. So let's go ahead and open up Blender. I am using version 2.73. I have a file already set up for this tutorial, so I'll go ahead and click that. And I'll go into textured mode, go into my camera view and press P. And I have a first person rig all set up, so I can look around, I can jump, go forwards, backwards, left, right, can run, walk. So this gray background, yeah, it's not very pretty. So what we can do is we can add a skybox or a skydome, as this video suggests. I've seen a lot of videos on this, except they have a problem where I'll just set up a simple skybox. This isn't going to be pretty, and it's not even going to be a texture for a skybox, but here's just an idea of why a lot of the tutorials I've seen don't work, and I decided to make this. So if you have a skybox, and pretend that's a sky texture on this box, and I hit P, I'm looking around. It would look great if I was just, looking at one spot for the entire time. But I can move closer to it, and that texture is going to start to stretch, and it's going to give it's not going to give the illusion of being a sky anymore. So something people would do is they would actually just scale this up a huge amount. Now the problem with this is you can't see it if you're looking through your camera unless you turn your clipping up on the camera. So I'll go and do that. It's defaulted to 100. You can turn that way up. Let's keep going. You can kind of see it coming into view now. So now you have this, and it still moves a little bit if I'm moving left or right or forward and back, but it's harder to tell. It's a little bit better, but the only problem with that is optimization. So if you have a higher clipping distance, your game is more apt to lag, or if you're using something such as fog or mist, it's called in this, then that will, you can't use it because then you're not going to be able to see your sky. So I have a simple way how to fix this. What you're going to do is add a new scene. I'll actually name this to game right now, and I'll click this button right here. Oh, wrong button. I'll click this plus right here, and then we'll say new scene, new copy settings, link objects, all that stuff. So I'm gonna hit, well, let's hit, no, I won't do that. I'll full copy, just hit full copy. Now you have a new scene, you have two of them, should be whatever your scene was, 0.001. So I'm going to rename that to Skydome, because that's what I'm going to be making in this scene. So what we're going to do is select our player, or delete the floor, delete the camera, or the lamps, the lights, delete everything but the player and the camera. So what we're going to do is delete all the logic from the player, so it can't move forward, backwards, left, right, or jump, or run. You can just delete everything. Except for the mouse movement, leave that there for the player. You can get rid of this property, it's not really needed if you have any properties on the player. Anything at all can just be removed except for the camera's influence on its movement to move left and right. You can delete everything from the camera except for its influence to move up and down. So now you just basically have a player and a camera that can only turn, look, turn and look. So you can also go ahead, and if you go into the physics tab up here, just change character to no collision. That's going to optimize your game even more. So now it should not fall. I'm just going to make a test here to make sure I don't hit that down there. Yeah, see, I'm staying in the air. So now your player is free floating, your camera is linked to your player still, and you have no logic, so nothing's going to affect these two things from moving. Now I will add a UV sphere, and down here in this corner here, change the segments from 32 to something smaller for optimization, so 24 segments, and the rings, you can probably cut that in half, so let's go with 8. And I'll size this up. It doesn't have to be very big as long as the player can see it. I'll make it a little bit bigger just so I can kind of see what I'm doing. Everything's black here. I have no lights in the scene. So what I'll do is I'll give them a material. I'll just make it white and shadeless. So now you can see this white blob now. Okay. So I'm going to hit 1 and then tab to go into edit mode, 5 to go into orthographic mode, and Z so I can kind of see through it and select all the faces that I need to right now. I'll hit A if everything's selected. I will hit B, and that will start a border select, and just go ahead and left click and drag until you have the entire bottom half of the sphere selected. Then you can let go. Hit X, and it will ask you to delete something, and then you just select faces. So now you have this dome. The normals, if you don't know what normals are, they affect which way an object's, well, normals are facing. So they're planes, which direction you can see them from, which if you can't see them from one side, you can see them from the other side. So if I hit P, you can see the outside of the sphere and not the inside. So we want to change that so you can see the inside, because that's where the player is. You hit tab, A to select everything. What's this? W. And then you look down, you can see flip normals. And now if we look at it again, you can see the inside, but not the outside. So I'll go ahead and hit tab again, U, and hit U, and then you'll see UV mapping come up, and you hit unwrap. You look down here. If you don't have this open already, you can right click the side here and split area, click here, and then open up a UV image editor. But since I've already done that, I don't have to. Okay, so I will go and grab an image off my desktop that I should have there. This is from, I don't remember where I got this one from. This was a long time ago, but the site I got it from is no longer working. So you can kind of scale that down by hitting S and just kind of move it a little bit inwards so you don't get this extra black area in there. Now we can go over right next to the materials tab, hit textured, and the textured tab here, and hit new. Go down here until you see new or open. You're just going to hit open, go to that same directory, and open the same texture. Now you have this. So you can look at it, you have this nice sky now. If you go into the player mode, you hit P, you can look around, you can't move forward and backwards anymore, and you're just always going to see this. Now to make it, I normally make these Skydomes level with the camera, so I'll just select the Skydome and move it up a bit so it's sort of level with the camera. You want it a little bit below it, you don't want it exactly level, so a little bit below. Go in here again, P, there. So now you have a horizon you can look down towards, you can look up, you can see all this, so it's nice. So what does this help us? It's not even in the right scene. Well, what you can do now is go back to your original scene where your game is in. Now you have everything, you still have that gray blank space. You can right click your camera, and I'm in the logics tab down here. You can add an actuator to the camera, and that will be scene. You can change restart to add background scene, and then you just click in here. It should bring up a list of scenes that you have, and you're just going to select Skydome. Add a always sensor to your camera and just connect that always sensor to that actuator. And now if you go into your player, you hit P, now you have a Skydome. You look around, move forwards, backwards, left, right, jump, and this will never move because it's just a background scene now. So instead of having this gray space, well, you can still see the gray space because your map isn't big enough, so I can scale that up quite a bit. Okay. So now if you hit P, now you have this giant map and a Skydome. It looks pretty good. So I've never seen this method been done before, and I don't know. I've been using this method for about 2 years. I've just never seen a tutorial on it, so I thought I'd show you guys how to do it. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will make another tutorial on how to make your own Skydomes, so you don't have to worry about going on Google and then, I don't know, putting something in games, posting it to YouTube maybe, and getting some kind of copyright strike, or I don't know, getting yelled at for using other material that's not your own. So I'll teach you how to make them. So I hope this was helpful. I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye-bye.